Here's your KNDY updated weatherology forecast for northeast Kansas and southeast Nebraska. I'm staff meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Cloudy skies expected today with daytime highs approaching 35. Northwest winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies tonight, lows dip down to about 22. A dusting of snow Thursday. I'm staff meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Currently, it's 32 degrees.
Kansas Mid-America Network News, I'm Trace Tall. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention issued a new report on December 30th focusing on cases of tularemia in the nation from 2011 to 2022. Also known as rabbit fever, tularemia can impact pets, wildlife, and humans by causing mild to life-threatening symptoms. The CDC report states that during the observation period, it found just over 2,400 cases of tularemia in people nationwide. However, Kansas, Arkansas, Missouri, and Oklahoma were home to half of all cases identified by the CDC. Saline County law enforcement are investigating a violent attack that sent a man to the hospital on Christmas Eve. The attack occurred in the bathroom of the Blind Pig, a bar at 2501 Market Street in Salina. The 26-year-old victim was slashed across the neck with a box cutter. After the attack, police identified the suspect as 21-year-old Jason Nung Alexander Adams of Salina. Kansas Mid-America Network News.
Professional excavators and homeowners, safety always comes first, and safe digging is no accident. So before you begin your next digging project, remember to call Kansas 811 to have your underground utility lines marked for free. Know what's below. Call 811 before you dig. So play it safe. Put down the shovel, pick up the phone, and call 811 first. This message is brought to you by Kansas 811, reminding you that no matter if your digging project is big or small, don't make a judgment call. Always call 811 before you dig.
Your home for all the latest in Kansas, regional, and national agricultural news is the Mid-America Ag Network. I'm your farm broadcaster, Sam Speck. Join me daily for the latest ag news, statewide weather, and hourly commodity market updates. Also join agriculture radio legend Larry Steckline both Tuesdays and Fridays for a deep dive into the world of agriculture with the Steckline Report. The Mid-America Ag Network has been a 7-state region trusted source for everything in the world of agriculture for 20 years. So join us daily through our many great affiliates on the Mid-America Ag Network.
A global food company is set to bring 100 new jobs and a $90 million investment to a small southwest Kansas town. Governor Laura Kelly announced Flora Food Group purchased a manufacturing facility in Hugoton. The facility will be the hub for Flora Food Group's creams and cream cheese products for the U.S., Canada, and the rest of the Americas region over time. Flora Food Group has 15 owned sites across 5 continents, manufacturing over 90% of the products it sells. Officers filed a report of aggravated battery in the 700 block of Fort Riley Boulevard. A 46-year-old man, 20-year-old woman, and an 18-year-old woman reported a road rage incident escalated. Officers reported the alleged suspect, a 60-year-old man, was also listed as a victim as he reported harm was threatened upon him after he pointed a gun in the direction of the 3 other victims. David Beck of Manhattan was arrested for criminal threat and aggravated assault. He is no longer in custody. Kansas Mid-America Network News.
As a farm or ranch owner, you've invested heavily in your agribusiness, especially in your livestock. Protecting them from accidents, fires, and other natural disasters is crucial for your farm's success. At Blue Valley Insurance, we recognize the importance of your animals as assets to your livelihood. Visit our offices in Lynn, Greenleaf, Hanover, or Marysville to explore comprehensive livestock insurance options tailored to your needs. Safeguard your farm's future with Blue Valley Insurance today.
Nebraska Mid-America Network News. I'm Andy Hoosier. One Nebraska lawmaker says they are looking forward to the upcoming legislative session of 2025 and says one of the top agenda issues that they will be looking at will be seeking federal waivers next year for Nebraska's planned partnership with Iowa and their nonprofit for the new prescription drug donation program. As according to the Nebraska Examiner, State Senator Jana Hughes of the Seward area has led Legislative Bill 1035 through Nebraska's 2024 session to partner with SafeNet RX in Iowa, with the bill passing their final round of voting 47-0. According to the bill, the nonprofit organization collects, inspects, and distributes the non-expired and safe medications to patients at or below 200% below that federal poverty level. The piece of legislation, LB B 1035 would change Nebraska's law to allow the nonprofit to distribute the medication to Nebraska pharmacists who could previously donate to SafeNet RX but could not receive the medication back.
Your home for all the latest in Kansas, regional, and national agricultural news is the Mid-America Ag Network. I'm your farm broadcaster, Sam Speck. Join me daily for the latest ag news, statewide weather, and hourly commodity market updates. Also join agriculture radio legend Larry Steckline both Tuesdays and Fridays for a deep dive into the world of agriculture with the Steckline Report. The Mid-America Ag Network has been a 7-state region trusted source for everything in the world of agriculture for nearly 50 years. So join us daily through our many great affiliates on the Mid-America Ag Network.
If you've got a coin collection and want to turn it into money, look no further than Phil's Coins and Bullion at 9344 West Central Avenue. Phil's Coins and Bullion will give you the best deal you can find and will always treat you right. You can check them out at philscoins.com to start your shopping there. Whether your coins are U.S. or foreign, Phil's Coins will give you top dollar for what you have. Come down to Phil's Coins and Bullion today. And don't forget, Phil's Coins and Bullion is Kansas' premier bullion dealer.
Reporting local news, I'm Bruce Dierking. Marshall County Courthouse will remain closed January 1st for New Year's. Offices reopening Thursday, January 2nd. Commissioners at last week's meeting conducted mostly routine business, further discussing storage options at the county annex site west of Marysville. An alarm minimized damage from a sprinkler malfunction at the courthouse basement overnight into Monday morning last week around 2 a.m. A 5-year inspection cycle of a system was initiated as a result of the incident. Marshall County Partnership for Growth Director Jerry Zeiss recently resigned from the post due to other activities and health concerns. He will continue to serve as mayor of Blue Rapids. A search for a new executive director for the Marshall County Partnership for Growth will begin soon. Washington County Commissioners heard at last week's meeting that interest earned on idle funds this past year has nearly doubled with a rise in interest rates. Washington County Economic Development Director Ryan Kern outlined plans and will collaborate with River Valley Extension this next year. River Valley Extension District offices, including Washington, remain closed through January 1st and will reopen Thursday, January 2nd. Nemaha County Commissioners' last meeting approved budget amendments as presented for publication. Nemaha County EMS presented a plan for construction of a new ambulance building to be funded through American Rescue Plan funds with a preferred location at 7th and Nemaha and Seneca. Location, building size, options, and dispatch call numbers were among discussion items. No decisions made. A conversation followed as how to distribute American Rescue Plan funds to guarantee emergency communications. Later in the meeting, distributions were approved, including $298,000 for the Kansas Road Project, $500,000 for an EMS building, $210,000 for fire department radios with $30,000 each to the 7 departments, $112,000 for Sheriff's Department radios, and $461,000 for rebuilding the Oneida Road with a hard surface base and hard surface chip seal from Bern to Oneida. Gage County Board of Supervisors voted to disapprove a final contract offer from the Fraternal Order of Police for law enforcement. It was noted law enforcement and corrections had a 20% increase last year and were expecting a similar increase this year. Impact on other county departments and justifying the increase to taxpayers were considered in the decision. A final counteroffer will be presented, which will be considered at the January 8th meeting. Betty M. New, age 95 of Washington, passed away Thursday. Funeral service Thursday at 1 at the Good Shepherd Lutheran Church in Washington. Burial in St. Paul Cemetery east of Washington, with a Ward Funeral Home in charge of arrangements for Betty New. Frank N. Mirian, age 58, formerly of Hanover, passed away Friday. Funeral service is planned Friday at 10:30, with a rosary at 9:30 from St. John's Catholic Church in Hanover. Burial in the church cemetery. Visitation Thursday, 4 until 7 p.m. at Kinsley Mortuary in Marysville, in charge of arrangements for Frank Mirian. Eleanor J. Zimmerman, age 80, passed away December 28th. Funeral service Saturday, 10 a.m. at Kinsley Mortuary. Burial in the Summerfield Cemetery. Visitation Friday, 2 until 8. Family will greet friends Friday from 6 until 7 at Kinsley Mortuary in Marysville, in charge of arrangements for Eleanor Zimmerman. Connie M. Hartloff, age 80, of Blue Rapids, passed away December 24th. Memorials planned Saturday 2 until 4 p.m. at the Blue Rapids Community Center. Graveside service at a later date at Wamego City Cemetery. Christy Anders, Funeral Home of Waterville, in charge of arrangements for Connie Hartloff. Alicia L. Griffith, age 62, of Bern, passed away December 16th. Celebration of life and remembrance services planned Saturday from 1 to 3 at the Bern Community Building. Hopkins Mortuary of Seneca in charge of arrangements for Alicia Griffith.
We know the scenario. Your Wi-Fi is being shared between 2 televisions streaming Netflix, smart devices scattered throughout your home, multiple smartphones, and you have a Zoom meeting you're trying to connect to. Take the frustration out of your Wi-Fi with Blue Valley Technologies' worry-free Wi-Fi service. Our advanced router with a 24/7 support team can help your home network run smoothly. For more information, call 877-876-1228.
Here's your KNDY weatherology forecast for northeast Kansas and southeast Nebraska. Mostly cloudy and breezy today with our highs in the mid to upper 30s. Northwest winds between 10 and 20 and gusting as high as 35. Partly cloudy skies overnight tonight with our lows in the upper teens and lower 20s. Staying sunny with our highs in the upper 30s and lower 40s throughout New Year's Day Wednesday. And mostly cloudy skies throughout Wednesday night with our lows in the upper teens and mid 20s. There will be a slight chance for some snow showers in a Thursday, otherwise mostly cloudy with our highs in the lower to upper 30s. Then partly cloudy skies over Thursday night with our lows in the mid to upper teens. Some sunshine throughout the day on Friday with our highs in the upper 20s and lower 30s. Then partly cloudy skies over Friday night with our lows in the lower to upper teens. Staying mostly cloudy into Saturday with our highs in the lower 20s and lower 30s. And some snow showers possible into Saturday night, cloudy with our lows in the single digits and lower teens. Snow showers are possible into Sunday, mostly cloudy with our highs in the upper teens and lower 20s. Snow showers possible into Sunday night with our lows just around 0. I'm meteorologist Kara Foster.
Average high temperature 40, record high in this state 69, the average low 20, the record low 9 below 0. Sunrise this morning 7:46, sunset this evening at 5:13.
Some cultures believe what you eat tonight affects your fortune in the coming year. A look at some of that New Year's lore today from the Old Farmer's Almanac.
If you're a farmer or rancher, chances are you've thought about joining Kansas Farm Bureau. So, what's stopping you? Your membership gives you access to the state's largest and most influential advocacy organization, the Voice of Agriculture in Topeka, Washington, D.C., and counties across the state. You'll also be helping build strong, prosperous communities through agriculture advocacy and education. Join us today. Visit kfb.org/farmer-rancher to learn more.
In August of last year, Kansan Audra Clark was involved in a motor vehicle accident. While she only suffered some bumps and bruises, scan results indicated she had 2 masses on her brain. She is the single mother of 4 beautiful children, and her quest continues to become a registered nurse. We ask for your prayers for Audra, and if you would, please donate to assist her in this medical fight. Visit Audra Support Squad on Facebook. That is Audra Support Squad. Again, Audra Support Squad. This message of support is organized by Justin Clark and Lindsay Meyer. With more practical tips and useful advice, this is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report for Tuesday, December 31st. The leap year gave us an extra day way back in February, making this the 366th and final day of 2024. Singer Donna Summer was born on this day in 1948. New Year's Eve is celebrated with rich traditions of folklore around the world, and the evening meal plays an important role. A Cuban tradition is to eat 12 grapes, one for each month of the past year. It's customary in Buddhist temples to eat noodles at midnight. In the southern U.S., it's considered lucky to eat black-eyed peas. In Denmark, boiled cod is the meal of choice. In German folklore, says eating herring on New Year's Eve will bring you luck in the coming year. Just don't count on the kiss at midnight. And there is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report. Learn more about New Year's and this day in history at almanac.com.
Mid-American Network Sports. I'm Doug Downs. The Kansas State Wildcats snapped a 3-game losing streak last night by beating a top 25 team in the Cincinnati Bearcats. K-State gets a 70-67 win over the Bearcats. It's the first game Kansas State has played since they came to Wichita on December 21st and lost to the Shockers. Here's what Jerome Tang had to say afterwards.
Our guys have been resilient. They've persevered and kept moving forward, And our staff did a really good job of trying to simplify the game.
Next up for the Cats, it's a road trip to Fort Worth to take on TCU on Saturday. The Kansas Jayhawks haven't played a game since December 22nd when they took on Brown. Today, they opened conference play, kind of an odd start time. They tip off at 1 p.m. inside Allen Fieldhouse against West Virginia. Mid-America Network Sports.
Model year-end blowout at Rusty Eck Ford. Up to $18,000 off on F-150. Stock number 24T710. 24 Mach-E, $299 base payment, 48 months, 7,500 mile per year lease, 7633 down. Stock number 24C548. Sales price $48,850. 24 Edge, $359 base payment, 36 months, 7,500 miles per year lease, $39.96 down. Stock number 24T026. Sales price $35,999. 24 F-150, $349 base payment, 36 months, 7,500 miles per year lease, $47.50 down. Stock number 24T653. Sales price $47,500. 24 Bronco Sport, $199 base payment, 36 months, 7,500 miles per year lease, $50.07 down. Stock number 24T746. Sales price $33,380. Visit Rusty Eck Ford or rustyeckford.com. Offers cannot be combined. See store for details. Must finance with Ford Motor Credit.
There are 5 college football bowl games on today, starting with an 11 o'clock game featuring Alabama taking on Michigan. It will end tonight with the Fiesta Bowl, which is part of the CFP. Number 6 Penn State will face number 3 Boise State. That game kicks off at 6:30, with the winner moving on to the round of 4. Tomorrow, the CFP will continue, starting at noon with the Peach Bowl. It will have Texas taking on Arizona State, followed by the Rose Bowl with Ohio State versus Oregon. And the Sugar Bowl has Notre Dame taking on Georgia to wrap up the day. Even though the game didn't matter last night for the Detroit Lions, they went 8-0 on the road this year by getting a 40-34 win over the 49ers last night in Monday Night Football, the final Monday night game of the year. The Lions now can secure the NFC's number 1 seed by beating the Vikings coming up on Sunday. Tennessee tops this week's college basketball AP Top 25. The Kansas Jayhawks come in at number 7. There are 5 Big 12 teams in this week's poll. Iowa State is the highest-ranking Big 12 team at number 3. Mid-American Network Sports.
It may be good for your teeth, but fluoride can damage some of your favorite indoor plants like Dracaena, Chinese evergreens, and spider plant. Hi, I'm Melinda Myers, horticulturist and gardening expert. Brown leaf tips on these and other sensitive indoor plants may be due to fluoride in the water, over-fertilization, or improper watering. Reduce damage by using distilled, rain, or other water free of fluoride. Water collected from your dehumidifier is another option, as long as you're not cleaning it with toxic chemicals that could damage the plant. Avoid using potting mixes with perlite if fluoride is a problem. This puffy white addition to potting mixes provides needed drainage, but also contains fluoride. Use a potting mix with a different gritty drainage material. Fertilize only as needed. Slow-growing plants in low-light conditions need less fertilizer than the actively growing plants in bright light. Check out our website for this and other gardening tips. Hi, I'm gardening expert Melinda Myers. Want to increase your gardening skills and grow beautiful and productive gardens? The Great Courses, How to Grow Anything DVD series can help. As host of the series, I show you how to design, plant, and maintain gorgeous gardens. So join me in becoming the best gardener you can be. The 4 Great Courses, How to Grow Anything DVD sets cover such topics as container gardening, landscape design, food gardening, and more. Visit melindamyers.com for more details. Whether you're planting your first vegetable garden or looking to add a bit of pizzazz to your landscape, I'd like to help. Hi, I'm gardening expert Melinda Myers. Visit melindamyers.com. You'll find my gardening tips, videos, audio segments, and the Ask Melinda section with my answers to your frequently asked questions. Plus, check out the plant profiles and planting guides for help selecting the right plant for your growing conditions and garden design. Have fun and be successful in your garden. Visit melindamyers.com.
There perhaps has never been a homecoming dance like the 1975 Cadillac Michigan version. The students and the entire town were surprised when that year they didn't just play music, they had a live performance by a very memorable group. It's part of our Best of 2024 series, and it's next on the American Countryside.
What's the first thing you do in the morning? For many farmers and ranchers, it's checking weather and market updates. Make AgWeb Daily Newsletter part of your morning routine. Not only bringing you essential news and weather updates, but also covering topics such as smart farming and agriculture's next generation. And each weekday, stay informed and stay ahead with AgWeb Market Weekly. Whether you're at home or in the field, AgWeb Market Weekly keeps you connected and competitive.
Delivered straight to your inbox. Subscribe to both today at agweb.com/newsletters and never miss a beat.
I'm Tyne Morgan, host of U.S. Farm Report, the only weekend television show that features some of agriculture's biggest names. From custom commentary from John Phipps to the stories of antique iron with Machinery Pete to a list of more than 30 marketing analysts, our weekly program focuses on the topics that matter most to you. We invite you to join us each weekend for U.S. Farm Report, timely, trusted tradition.
In 1974, assistant football coach Jim Neff began playing music by the band KISS to pump up the Cadillac, Michigan high school team before games. They went undefeated after playing the music, and the band caught wind of what was taking place. Jim reached out to KISS during the 1975 season.
KISS was playing in Kalamazoo. They had 3 days off after their concert in Kalamazoo. So I contacted them and asked them if they would come up and maybe make a personal appearance at our homecoming.
The band was open to coming up to Cadillac, and a discussion ensued about what should take place.
Finally, one of their managers said, well, why don't we bring the whole show? That was really something because probably 99% of our students had never seen a rock and roll show.
So KISS was set to play the show for the homecoming dance, but because of the band's popularity, Jim and a half dozen others kept that fact under wraps until just before the date. The band, of course, is known for their face paint, and the students reciprocated.
Every kid dressed up in KISS makeup. Like Gene said, when I looked out, it was like I was on Planet KISS.
Gene Simmons and the rest of the band played the homecoming concert that night. The gym couldn't hold that many people, but it didn't really matter.
At that time, the gym had windows we could open, so we opened them. We have reports of people who sat 2 miles away in their backyard in a lawn chair and listened to the concert.
Years have passed, but the memories have not.
KISS has played all over the world. And if you ask KISS fans, what is the one concert you wish you could have been at? And they all say Cadillac, Michigan.
You can even take a KISS tour around town to see the sights and the markers denoting the trip the band made to this small town. Traveling the countryside in Cadillac, Michigan, I'm Andrew McCrae.
If your pine tree oozes, rusts, or grows a canker, you've got a problem. Hi, I'm Jody Henke. Pine trees are normally very resilient, so learn to spot when there's trouble as you're living the country life.
Living the country life. Ideas and inspiration for your place in the country. You can find more information on today's topic and from previous shows by visiting us online at livingthecountrylife.com. We'll return to the show after these messages.
Check out our full lineup of Successful Farming podcasts. The Successful Farming podcast goes in-depth into the topics that affect farmers and ranchers. The 15 Minutes with a Farmer podcast offers a quick conversation between an editor and a farmer. The SF Shorts podcast offers bite-sized interviews about agricultural topics. And the SF Daily podcast covers commodity markets, weather, and the big things happening in agriculture each morning. Search for Successful Farming wherever you download your podcasts.
Your trusted online auction partner, Big Iron and Sullivan Auctioneers, proudly celebrate 40 and 45 years of service. From day one, we've been committed to excellence, connecting buyers and sellers in agriculture, construction, transportation, livestock, real estate, and collector car markets. We provide a seamless online experience driven by innovation, integrity, and customer care. Ready to buy or sell? Visit BigIron.com and join the celebration of trusted online auctions built on family values.
We've had several pine trees succumb to disease and had to cut them down after an arborist told us it would be for the best. Conifers respond differently to pests and disease than deciduous trees, so one method of diagnosis doesn't fit all. Chucky Anderson is a staff arborist for the Tree Care Industry Association. She says it's important to know what kind of tree you have before treating it.
If you're in Nevada and you're looking at a pinyon pine, or if you're in Florida and you're looking at a longleaf pine, what pine tree you're looking at will depend perhaps on exactly which disease will be invading it.
Some pines are more susceptible to fungus invasions. Pine oak gall rust, for example, attacks hard pines like scotch, pitch, loblolly, and shortleaf. The sad thing is that this type of fungus is spread by a spore found on red and black oaks. So if you have a mix of these in your woodlot, there might be trouble. The gall, which is an abnormal growth on the tree, will cut off sap flow and kill the tree above the growth. Other pines develop pine needle rust, a fungus which causes yellow spots on the needles, followed by white blisters. Depending on how far gone the tree is, Anderson says you might be able to save it.
Remove some of the lower branches that funguses tend to invade first. They're not going to grow back, but it's possible that you might save the whole tree if you remove some of the diseased branches. Another method of cure is applying a fungicide to the tree in the spring. This is best done by professional tree care companies because they have the specialized equipment that puts fungicide up to the very top of the tree.
Find more resources to help protect your pine trees at livingthecountrylife.com. I'll see you in the country.
Living the Country Life. Ideas and inspiration for your place in the country. You can find more information on today's topic, share your tips, and post photos by visiting us online at livingthecountrylife.com.
As another year comes to a close tomorrow, let's look back with thankfulness. Hi, I'm Rob West with the Faith and Finance Minute. In Acts 17, the Apostle Paul notes that God gives to all mankind life and breath and everything. I'll put it another way. Everything you and I have, even our very breath, we have because God has graciously given it to us. As Christians, we should regularly recognize that our loving Lord is the source from whom all blessings flow. So as the year wraps up, I hope you'll take time to thank Him for His provision and grace, and tell Him that you trust Him for everything you'll need in the year ahead. As the psalmist said, give thanks to the Lord for He is good. And from everyone here at Faith Fi, Happy New Year. We can help you learn to manage your money according to biblical principles when you download the free Faith Fi app. You'll find it on our website at faithfi.com.
Recent regulatory approvals involving a carbon pipeline could help bring economic sustainability to Upper Midwest farmers. Stay tuned for Farm to Fork. Hurricanes Helene and Milton happened almost back to back, devastating a huge swath of the southeastern United States. Many farms and farming communities were affected. The American Red Cross and other organizations are accepting donations for relief efforts in those stricken communities. They can use your support. There's a link on the homepage at northshoreproductions.com if you'd like to help.
Hey there, it's Mike Rowe, and if you're out there getting dirty, do me a favor and remember to call or click 811 before you dig. And when I say dig, I refer to any activity requiring boring, tilling, drilling, probing, reaming, plowing, drudging, or even scoping. Anything that causes you to roll up your sleeves a little and dig in requires you to first connect with 811 so that you can avoid all those buried pipes, wires, and cables underground. To sum up, call or click 811 before you dig and visit safeexcavator.com for more information.
I told you in yesterday's show about the Summit Carbon Pipeline's recent approvals by utility regulators in North Dakota and Minnesota. You also heard Tom Bias of the American Carbon Alliance explain why that's good for farmers and rural communities. Bias says the eventual completion and operation of the pipeline will also help American biofuels producers to compete in the sustainable aviation fuel market.
The main thing to always keep in mind, Daryl, is whoever can do it the best and the cleanest ought to have the opportunity to do so. So we shouldn't pick winners and losers. And cleaning up our domestic fuel to allow it to qualify going forward is huge.
Bias points to this as an alternative to the economic bailouts for farmers that periodically come up in Washington.
We had many, many, many years where the only reason we could even keep going was federal assistance. But we don't need to do that. We just need to increase our demand out there, create new markets. And sustainable aviation fuel is a huge market. Low carbon ethanol is a huge market. And we just have to educate people on why that's important and move forward because it's huge.
That's Farm to Fork. I'm Daryl Anderson.
For large dirt work projects or residential jobs, contact Hayes & Dozer Service of Frankfort. Complete pond building and excavation, field terrace maintenance, entire outbuilding demolition, and dump truck service. Hayes & handles it all. Call Greg today at 785-547-5794. That's 785-547-5794. Now booking spring 2025 projects. Call on Hayes & Dozer Service of Frankfort, where your project meets their expertise.
Good Tuesday. I'm your farm broadcaster, Sam Smack, with your latest agricultural news here on the Mid-America Ag Network. Well, it's certainly a hot topic, but many in the agricultural industry are worried about what the Trump administration could mean for their livelihoods, with concerns over things like new tariffs and the potential deportation of ag workers. Cam Quarles, CEO of the National Potato Council, says folks are rightfully asking questions, but it's a bit too early to let our imaginations run wild.
If the threat of tariffs drives countries that we partner with, and in some cases compete with, if it drives them to the negotiating table where we can get a better deal overall selfishly for U.S. agriculture's huge trade deficit, we can actually start balancing that trade deficit. That will be a very good thing.
Especially where tariffs are concerned.
I think that is one of the potential outcomes of the strategy that has been suggested, is the threat of tariffs may lead to lower tariffs through effective negotiations.
But Quarles says nothing is guaranteed at this time.
Obviously, if you had massive tariffs go on just kind of wholesale across the United States and never come off, that's an entirely different matter. But that hasn't happened. So, and I think we've just got to give the administration the opportunity to actually implement their policies.
Quarles says the was things are currently isn't working. So moving forward, he says,
maybe this renewed focus on the bad actors who are here and have exploited our immigration system will provide a window to deal with things that ag labor reform done properly could provide a tailwind for the U.S. economy that would carry us for decades.
Again, that was Cam Quarles, CEO of the National Potato Council, as he, and much like many others, are talking about how the ag industry is nervous about Trump's administration priorities, more specifically the tariffs and its effect on agriculture. I'm your farm broadcaster, Sam Speck, with your latest agricultural news right here through the Mid-America Ag Network.
We want to see ya in your perfect ride. We want to see ya in a Midwest Kia.
Drive home a great deal today. At Midwest Kia, we're excited to help you kick off a season of new traditions with a year-end sales event you won't want to miss. For limited time only, if you find an ornament on the windshield of any new Kia, you'll have found thousands in extra savings. Explore our selection with over 300 new Kias available, all backed by Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty for unbeatable peace of mind. Plus, our simple, transparent, and fast buying process means you'll spend less time at the dealership and more time enjoying your new ride. Don't miss out. Visit Midwest Kia today and celebrate the season of new traditions with savings you won't want to pass up. Come to Midwest Kia and see why people are singing.
We want to see ya in a Midwest Kia.
See dealer for details. Offers expire month end. Warranties a limited powertrain warranty. Subject.
Hi there. Chad Kramer here from Kramer Oil. Fuel costs for 2025 might be the last thing on your mind, but now's the perfect time to lock them in. As a family business, we take pride in delivering quality service you can count on. We've been here for you and will keep fueling your future. That's why we're offering a chance to secure your fuel rates for 2025. Don't wait. Call us at 785-562-2466 to book your fuel needs. Kramer Oil, fueling your future with confidence and a handshake you can trust.
The kids are at home driving you crazy, so they might as well help on the farm, right? There are resources to help you decide if that's a good idea on Successful Farming Radio.
Successful Farming Radio, providing information farmers need in the field, in the shop, and in the office. Committed to growing your business in agriculture.
Check out our full lineup of Successful Farming podcasts. The Successful Farming podcast goes in-depth into the topics that affect farmers and ranchers. The 15 Minutes with a Farmer podcast offers a quick conversation between an editor and a farmer. The SF Shorts podcast offers bite-sized interviews about agricultural topics. And the SF Daily podcast covers commodity markets, weather, and the big things happening in agriculture each morning. Search for Successful Farming wherever you download your podcasts.
This year, American farmers will harvest 2.8 billion bushels of wheat and 15.1 billion bushels of corn. And to this day, American road workers have built 4.2 million miles of roads and counting. We're proud that John Deere machines rolling off the line here in the USA play a part in supporting Americans who work the land and build a better tomorrow. Nothing runs like a Deere. Learn more at johndeere.com/manufacturing.
Two parents run a farm, and one of them also works in town. They have school-age kids trying to navigate online learning, and maybe there's even a toddler or a baby that needs constant care. When schools, childcare centers, and youth activities are canceled, the kids are probably bored out of their minds. It may be very tempting to have them helping with the farm work, but this also increases their exposure to hazards and injuries if the job isn't appropriate for them. Scott Heiberger is the communications manager for the National Farm Medicine Center. He says they want to help by offering resources for farm parents trying to protect their kids while navigating these lifestyle changes.
It's easy for us to say, hey, keep that very young child out of the work site, at least during your most hazardous work. But we're kind of in that situation where all we can do is kind of be supportive and try to offer up these resources and make them as accessible as possible online. Ag Youth Work Guidelines, which can help parents assign jobs to kids based on their developmental ability and as well as their age. Some homeschooling links that are pretty handy for parents trying to balance those duties at home.
Heiberger says to find these resources, Google the National Farm Medicine Center.
Some of these COVID resources are right on the homepage, easily seen. Then there's a drop-down tab where you can go to the National Children's Center, and that's where we've got the rest of the concentration of resources, again, for like assigning jobs, for keeping kids out of the work site, ideas on physical barriers, safe play area type situations.
I'm Jody Henke. You'll find many helpful online resources for farm parents now and even when there is no pandemic at agriculture.com.
Farmers, you work year-round to make the most of your harvest. Proper soil management, planting practices, and due diligence at harvest. Don't let a worn, torn, and ragged grain tarp cost you in the end. Blue Valley Trailers in Waterville has a full line of replacement Serco tarps for grain trucks, trailers, carts, or wagons. With manual or electric options, safeguard the quality and value of your harvest against the elements. Also offering repair options, stop by Blue Valley Trailers in Waterville for a full line of trusted Serco tarps.
From Kansas State University, this is Agriculture Today. I'm Jacob Clout. Lambing and kidding season usually determines the year's success for sheep and goat operations. As this phase of production happens, K-State Extension small ruminant specialist Kelsey Bentley says producers should be prepared to assist difficult births. However, she shares a caveat when helping ewes and does during labor.
In an ideal world, does and ewes should be able to have lambs or kids on their own. So I don't want to recommend us stepping in too early because I do think that happens a lot of times and then we have some issues with ewe or doe bonding with that lamb or kid. But if we see kind of 30 minutes of unproductive labor, so she's trying to lay down, she's trying to have lamb or kid, and we notice that there's not much progress being made, it may be time to then step in and intervene.
Bentley explains the importance of stepping in at the appropriate time and signs ewes and does are struggling.
We need to make sure that during that time, though, we are kind of leaving her alone. A lot of people don't know that being kind of meddling within that birth process actually stops some of the oxytocin. So therefore, like if we're hovering over her and she's not being productive, that might be the reason for that. Another thing is if we see water sac and that water sac hasn't ruptured or appears to not be making any sort of progress. And then finally, if you notice immediately a dystocia. So let's say I do go to my night check and I see back leg instead of front leg, it might be okay for me to actually go ahead and intervene, assuming that ewe or doe might actively be experiencing dystocia.
She discusses how to be the most effective during the laboring process.
Always gloves. We are going to be messing with biological fluids, and then also you're going to be taking your hands and putting them inside ewe or doe. So ensuring that everything's clean. Wash your hands. Take off your rings. We don't want to be causing her to have any sort of infection. So before we start pulling anything, we need to orient ourselves. So I think that's the number one kind of trouble that we get into is that sometimes producers, in an effort to be quick, won't locate head. So before we start pulling on, even if we have 2 feet out, we need to go in and manually palpate and ensure that we can sense where head is, and head should be between front legs. If we start pulling preemptively before we get some orientation, we can actually cause more harm than good.
That was K-State Extension small ruminant specialist Kelsey Bentley on how to help out during lambing and kidding. I'm Jacob Clout. This has been Agriculture Today over the K-State Radio Network.
Sapp Brothers Petroleum works hard to be there for you when it matters most. Their goal is simple: to be your number one source of propane, lubricants, and extreme premium diesel fuel. And they'll reach that goal by treating you like family and giving you service that makes you want to come back. Proudly serving Kansas with locations in Blue Rapids and Hanover, Sapp Brothers thanks all of their current customers. If you're not a current customer, call the winning team at Sapp Brothers locations in Blue Rapids and Hanover today for all of your propane and fuel needs.
Good Tuesday. Sam Speck with your latest market information here on the Mid-America Ag Network. Well, as we pass through midday, it's still mixed to generally higher in the livestock. Now, December live cattle has dropped 22 cents down to 193.85. However, the later contracts are all higher, including February up 87 to 191.17. Triple-digit gains now for the feeders. January feeder cattle up $1.47 to 263.10. March to 262.70. That's 165 higher. However, in contrast to those, hogs are still a bit weaker. February lean hogs down 62 cents. At $81 per hundredweight. April down to 86.60. That's 45 cents weaker. Into the grains and oilseeds now. As predicted, the wheat market has been slowing down pretty much through this midday portion, and now we see Chicago Spring and Kansas City wheat all in the red slightly. March KC wheat still unchanged at 5.55 3/4, but May back down a quarter cent at 5.64 1/4. Oats still on the rise. March oats up 8.5 to 3.32 1/2. Into the row crops now. March corn up 5 3/4 to 4.58 a bushel. May to 4.65 1/2. That's 5.5 cents higher. Soybeans have been leading the way today, and that continues here through the noon hour. January soybeans up 13 to 9.95. March up 14.5 to 10.06 1/4 cent. January soybean meal up 140 to 3.04, and soy oil up 15 at 39.87. Some choppy two-sided trade beyond that. Two-sided trade for cotton today as well. March cotton though down 11 at 68.37. A stroll down Wall Street sees some weakness before the session holiday tomorrow. Dow Jones down 134 at 42,439. S&P's down 31 at 58.75, and the Nasdaq down 155 at 19,329. Into the energy markets now. Crude oil is up 98 cents to 71.97. Unleaded gas is up a penny to 1.99 a gallon. Heating oil up 3 to 2.33. Natural gas continues to drop. February down 34 at 3.58. February gold's up $19.90 to $2,638 per ounce. Silver still a bit weaker. March silver down 20 to 29.21 per ounce. And the dollar index up 42 to 108.355.
Professional excavators and homeowners, safety always comes first, and safe digging is no accident. So before you begin your next digging project, remember to call Kansas 811 to have your underground utility lines marked for free. Know what's below. Call 811 before you dig. So play it safe. Put down the shovel, pick up the phone, and call 811 first. This message is brought to you by Kansas 811, reminding you that no matter if your digging project is big or small, don't make a judgment call. Always call 811 before you dig.
Toppers Plus Truck and RV, your RV headquarters, now offers Rhino Linings Eco Coat, a spray-on roof lining to protect your RV from daily wear. It's 100% seamless, won't crack or peel, UV resistant, lasts 3 times longer than a rubber roof with a Toppers Plus lifetime leak-free guarantee. Shop in-stock accessories including sewer and electrical items, freshwater hoses, stabilizing kits, lock kits, AC filter parts, and RV decor. Get your free RV roof inspection at Toppers Plus Truck and RV, 333 Northwest Street or toppersplusks.com. Make your truck work.
Trucks in on trade at the Nordis Motor Company in Marysville include a 2022 Ford F-150, a 2021 Chevy Silverado 3500 HD, it's a dually, 2018 Chevy Silverado 1500, 2015 Chevy Colorado, and a 2014 Chevy Silverado, a local new truck trade. At the Nordis Motor Company in Marysville.
From ABC News, Wall Street now. Stocks have been wavering on the final day of 2024. Headed into the midday, the Dow Jones was down 46 points, while the S&P was off 0.25%. The Nasdaq Composite was lower by 0.5%. 5 years ago today, a pneumonia of unknown cause with a total of 44 cases was first reported in Wuhan, China. What would later be known as COVID-19 would eventually lead to a worldwide lockdown and over 7 million deaths. Forecasts for a frigid January from Maine to Florida have natural gas prices spiking. Futures were up 20% in Monday trading, the single biggest daily jump in nearly 3 years. Prices have fallen back somewhat today. And the summer's biggest song is turning into the winter's newest drink from Dunkin'. The coffee and donut chain has teamed up with singing star Sabrina Carpenter for a new drink based on her hit Espresso. Brown sugar and oat milk are the main ingredients. Jim Ryan, ABC News.